California.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and a big thank you for holding the hearing and for the witnesses. Your testimony is powerful, it's extremely important, and it's important that the general public, and particularly our colleagues here in Congress, hear your testimony. It's being recorded, and that's terrific. But your testimony and the issues and the people that you've talked about are not unique. In each of our districts, you've heard from my colleagues here, you're going to hear from me in a moment. A 73-year-old woman, been in the country since for 30 years, 13 of the last 13 years trying to obtain the proper legal documents, caught in a bureaucratic mess between India and the United States. She wants to go home. She wants to go home to the Punjab. She can't because she cannot get papers. The U.S. government won't help her. The Indian government is back and forth. She is now stuck in a facility, picked up by ICE as she was conducting her semi-annual review at the ICE facility. They simply wait outside and they grab people who are doing the right thing, obeying the law. It is crazy. Harjeet Kaur is just one of thousands and thousands of people across this country who are doing the very best they can to be good citizens in the United States, working hard. She's worked for 13 years in a restaurant in the Bay Area. That doesn't count. It doesn't count that her family is here. It doesn't count that she's done her very, very best to obey all of the laws. The stories are thousands, perhaps millions before this is done. And so thank you so very much for the testimony. Thank you for being here and for this hearing. I've got 3 minutes, and I'd like for each of you in your area to take 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and say, what should we do as members of Congress in addition to holding these hearings? Let's start with the economic issues.
Thank you. I just want to quickly say how much I appreciate the other witnesses here, because you're talking about such an important issue in the human side, and I'm talking about data. But it is important to, there was an attempt in 2012, 2013 to have a bipartisan Immigration Reform Act. There was last year in 24, there was another attempt to do so. What we need is a sensible, common sense immigration reform that doesn't treat human beings like animals.
So you've seen that we have to do shadow hearings because our Republican colleagues refuse to do what had been done in the past, and that's legitimate hearings to get to the bottom of it. Ms. Goldbeck, with regard to the veterans.
Well, I just want to thank all of you, and especially Ranking Member Jayapal, for your leadership on this topic, and I would suggest that increasing pressure on your Democratic colleagues to lean into this issue. It is not a winning issue for Republicans. You can be the biggest border security hawk and still have a pit in your stomach when you see a masked, ununiformed, no badge person kidnapping your neighbors out of parking lots and your streets and cities. So please continue to put the pressure on your Democratic colleagues to lean in and really tell these stories.
Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. I echo leaning in on colleagues to focus on this issue. You are talking about people in your district who don't have permanent status here in the United States, who don't have citizenship. There are millions of undocumented people who have been waiting 30 years for Congress to give them pathways to citizenship and lawful status, and everything you all can do to move that conversation forward. We're seeing now the consequence of that failure as so many people with temporary and no status get swept up in this agenda.
Thank you. I think all of us are aware of legislation that has not been moving.
I think, in the support of what you're saying, we are beyond awareness. Everybody's looking for action. And I think also in the spirit of this being bipartisan, there are many, many people that have shown up at our home, people we don't know that have dropped off things for children, and they are voting on the other side. Nobody wants this. And we have to find a way to give more people a way to participate, to be active in the movement.
Thank you. Ms. White?
I believe that there needs to be better policies or pathways in place to keep families together. The way they're doing it right now just isn't working. There's got to be a better way or another way to keep families together other than waiting years to try to process paperwork.
Thank you. I would just remind all of us that we came very, very close last year to an immigration reform bill. Actually, the Senate had moved it, came to the House, and the Speaker said, no way will that be even taken up in the House, and it didn't. And we're left with the problem that we have today. For my constituent, she is in a world of hurt in a detention center that is known to be badly managed with bad health care issues. And so we'll do the best we can individually along the way. Thank you so much for the hearing. Yield back.